They stuck with the NV4 and the ERAD. It's like when you've seen players, the K-Bar and the OSA have been so good. I think for FaZe, you look at like Zuma is going to be running an OSA, same with Attach. Clay probably will run a K-Bar, play a little bit further back from the hard points. And Enable, he's versatile, can run neither.
Oh, he's going to be aggressive today. Talking with him and Zuma, I was asking who's getting more kills. Zuma, of course, said him. Yeah. Enable said, nah, it's all me, bro.
Well, dude, they're scary. I mean, if they play like they did in Advanced Warfare, where they're just like flying at the hard points, just being really aggressive in their face, that's when we saw Attach and Zoom at their best. But they're going to be going up against Renegades, a team I know last year, formerly known as Dream Team. They pick up Ivy for Killa going into this year. They keep the core three of Diabolic, Chino, and Cinder. This is a team that, all of last year, they play teams very close, like the top competition. They take them to the Game 5, round 11. They just were not able to win those series. I think coming into this year, you're looking to see if they can make the jump.
And, they have a lot of incredible support behind them. Jonas Jerebko from the Boston Celtics, he, of course, bought up this Renegades squad, the organization, and he has really empowered these players. You saw what Cinder, Chino, and Diabolic can do back on Dream Team. They got second at Season 2. Now they bring in Ivy, and Ivy is going to be your pure OBJ player, allowing the other three to focus purely on slaying that.
Yeah, and Ivy did a lot of nice things towards the end of the year last year with TSM, playing with Pac-Man and Weeds & Co. Now, you can see it's just kind of what we were talking about. Consistency remains an issue with them. It's just whether they can consistently, play those top teams tough. And if they do, if they get to those clutch situations, those Game 5s and high-pressure moments, they really need to come through. Last year did not come through many.
And even online, we see a lot of games going the distance, losing by 3 points, losing by 7 points.
Yeah.
They've been playing hard against all the top teams, but Cinder, he was honest with me. He said FaZe is definitely the hardest team in our group. This is going to be our toughest match of the day. If we can pull out a win here, we're probably going to get it done in Game 5. They feel really confident in Game 1, which is going to be their hard point. Then they feel good about Precinct, which is going to be their uplink game. And then Crusher S&D. He said out of all the S&Ds, this is one of our best.
I feel like you can be confident going into the respawns. Like, that's all well and great. But when you have FaZe on the other side, it's like I don't know if I still kind of chalk that up to the side of Renegades. I think if you were coming into this event, like the two teams you'd be scared about the most would be FaZe and Luminosity. I think Luminosity's looked really good as well. I would not want to play FaZe in my first match of the day.
No. Of course, these guys also just finding out that there's no more weapon draft.
Yeah.
But this is a good thing for both teams. Talking to them outside of the match, they said, we're all very comfortable with the OSA, and it's kind of a bummer that only one person could run it. Now they all can compete in those aggressive situations. The question for me is Renegades going to be able to win their one-on-ones when they get into those battles with FaZe? Because we definitely know, watching their scrims, Renegades, they seem to have the fundamentals a little bit more down when it comes to rotations in hardpoint.
Right, well, we've been watching Renegades online. I've been watching them play against Optic Gaming a ton, FaZe Clan as well, and they've been able to rotate, get control of those areas, but just not able to win those engagements and lock it down. So it's all well and great that you can rotate early, you can be in the right spot, but at the end of the day, right, it all comes down to picking up the kills. So I think for Renegades, I think one of the biggest things they have is no weapon trapped in, right? I mean, now you can get some more players with the OSA, you can get more players with the K-Bar, give yourself a better chance against FaZe.
I'm excited to see how this one plays out. If you guys are just joining us on the stream, welcome. This, of course, is a fantastic exhibition live from the PSX experience here in Anaheim, California.
My first time at the PSX.
We are surrounded by a billion different PlayStation games.
Yeah.
And in this booth, we are playing Infinite Warfare. This is the first time that you and I get a chance to cast this game. Really excited to see, though, a returning juggernaut in the FaZe clan facing off against a squad that is always dangerous, but never really quite walking away with that tournament victory that they've been looking for.
Yeah, and I mean, this would be a great time for Renegades to really get over the hump, right? Right here early at the beginning of Infinite Warfare, set the tone for the rest of the year and get a big win here versus FaZe. But we do have MLG Vegas coming up soon as well. I'm excited for that. We're both going to be there. A whole cast and crew is going to be there.
Preview, not just for us, but for the players themselves. We're putting them in a competitive environment, but really the big payday comes on December 18th, $100,000. We're going to be at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, so right in the middle of the strip, enjoying all of the action. Overwatch, but most importantly, Call of Duty will be in attendance, and we're going to see the best teams from all over North America coming to duke it out on the big stage, Matt.
And I mean, MLG has just had so many great events in Vegas. I mean, I'm sure you can remember like all the way back to '06. That was like one of my first national championships in Vegas. I believe that one was at the Venetian. So a lot of history for MLG in Vegas. Excited to get to this one.
2008, I had one of my first legal adult beverages on stream during the pregame show.
There you go.
You know, kicked things off the right way. Walked away from Vegas with an MLG tattoo on my right arm.
I don't know if you'll be doing anything like that again.
Revan said he's getting it across his forehead.
Really?
This year, yeah.
That's an interesting spot for Revan to get that tattoo.
We talked about it.
Yeah, he's fully on board.
Pretty confident about this decision.
Revan strikes me as a tattoo on the forehead type of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It caught me off guard, I'm not going to lie. All right, Renegades versus FaZe. I'm looking around, and we're going to see a lot of different classes here, a lot of different perks chosen. But what's going to be interesting for me to see is the weapon choice.
Yeah, the weapon choice, I mean, like they were talking a little bit about during the pre-show, the weapon draft out now, so, you know, you saw a lot of players online, obviously, you know, running the ERAD, the NV4 to kind of supplement the OSA and the K-Bar players. Now that's kind of all out of the window. You're just going to pretty much see OSAs and K-Bars. We saw a study in the first series run an NV4 and Havoc run the ERAD. I think it's probably just because that's what they practiced, that's what they were most comfortable with. Obviously, it did not work out against Orbit. Orbit was running, I believe, 3 OSAs and 1 K-Bar. And you just saw how much more firepower they got out of their lineup.
We'll have to see how it all plays out. We want to remind you we're in Group A right now. We just saw the first match, and a bit of surprise for a lot of North American fans out there. It was Orbit hitting Evil Geniuses with a hot 3-0. Now we're going to see who is going to play Orbit for that first spot in our bracket. Is it going to be FaZe or will it be Renegades? FaZe, I think, definitely going to be the favorites coming in. Renegades, though, never upset to play the role of the underdog.
No, and I would say I would be really scared to go up against that Orbit team. They looked very prepared coming into this one. Obviously, some of the best players from Europe last year just kind of forming together. Urban looked much better, had a pretty subpar COD XP. Playing with Infused, him and Zero, they stick together. They team up with Joe and Rated, who placed second last year at COD XP. So that's a lineup that's no short on talent. FaZe versus Renegades. Our next match will decide who plays them to make it out of Group A in the winner slot.
And you can see EG isn't out of the tournament.
Nope.
This is going to be basically double elim style groups, so EG is going to play the loser of this match to stay alive here at PSX.
Yeah, it's a GSL style group, so you have to win 2 to advance, lose 2 and you're gone. So EG not out of the entire thing yet, but they're in a pretty bad spot. I mean, they did not look good in that first match against Orbit. I will say, if when they go into this next match, it'll either obviously between FaZe or Renegades, they're a little bit more comfortable with these teams they played before, but I really think they need to go back and look at the weapons they selected and really throw that out the window.
Now, I've peeked across all 8 players. I've seen everybody make at least one OSA class.
Everybody should have.
I've seen a lot of players making a K-Bar class.
Yep, there should be no players that do not have those 2 weapons selected.
And not everyone has their soundproof headsets on, so I'm not going to mention the snipers that we saw selected as well. So when it comes to search, they may be ready to pop off some headshots.
Yeah, we've seen Chino use the sniper rifle in search and destroy, so when we get to map 2, I expect to see him bring the sniper out. See if he can make some plays with it, but something we saw last year where players, they stick on the sniper for a little bit too long, ends up hurting their team. We see just some of the players warming up here, getting ready, but do expect to see a lot of the K-Bar and the OSA in our map number 1, which will be Retaliation Hardpoint.
Retaliation Hardpoint, one of my favorites, a beautiful map. Cathedral, that is going to be one of your big hills, also known as the graveyard for a lot of people who have been playing online. Also, you got to look at Broken. As we saw with the Orbit game, they were able to pick up quite a bit of time. The question is, will FaZe just be blowing through the setups of Renegades, or are they going to be able to hold for big chunks of time here? I think that's going to be the key in Game 1.
I mean, if Renegades is going to win this, they're going to have to rotate early, and they're going to have to get control of those 2 hard points you're talking about, especially that back broken one. If you're able to get control of that early, you're going to spawn right there, and the opposing team spawns are pretty far out. I mean, I've seen, we're watching some gameplay where you see, the other team spawn all the way across the map. It's like a long, 10, 20-second just trek across the map to even get back towards the hard point. So I think Broken could be a big one for Renegades.
So I got to ask you, Matt, we've seen how these 2 teams play online. How do they match up player for player? When I look at Ivy, I know he's focusing on the objective. That's also something that Enable kind of has done. But who do you see as the 2 big slayers from each team?
Well, I've seen actually Zuma play very well for FaZe early in Infinite Warfare. So I'm going to be looking at Zuma on the side of FaZe. We talked a lot about him. Last year he would have up and down games. Seemed like FaZe really never got their roles situated last year. It seems like this year they're coming in completely different mindset, clear heads. and they're going to go at it, and I think Zuma's going to be a big part of this roster going forward. On the side of Renegades, I think Ivy, he needs to play well. He needs to take like a step forward in just his progress as a player. You know, last year was really his like first time playing like, you know, in the pro league against that top competition. You know, he played well towards the end of last year, needs to build on that coming in to Infinite Warfare. So I'm excited to see how Ivy plays in this first game.
There is a look at Ivy. He's got the serious face on, and this guy, we talked to him last night. We got a chance to talk with him this morning. He's excited to be playing with this lineup.
Yeah, no, this is a lineup. Renegades, you know, they seem to gel pretty well together. They all get along. I think this is a team that, you know, providing they have some good outcomes, could be one of the ones you see stick together throughout the, you know, extent of the year.
It's a team with no ego.
Right. They're kind of all just playing for each other. I mean, we see, you know, time and time again, you know, a team will lose pretty bad in a scrim, and they'll go at each other, and they'll argue and whatnot. Renegades does not actually do that. So when you watch them play, you know, if they lose a game, they all just kind of sit there and calmly talk it out. Like, okay, what went wrong? What can we do better? There's not really, you know, any hotheads or egos on this team. It's a pretty well-mannered group.
What I love about FaZe is there's no one single shot caller. That man right there, Enable, is a guy who's going to do a lot of the shot calling in situations, but you're also going to have Clayster chime in. You're going to have Zuma chiming in for FaZe. At the end of the day, Enable is kind of the one asking questions, what is going to be the best route, but this is a team of all kind of shot callers, all guys who are willing to take on that role, especially in Search and Destroy. Look for Enable to give up that shot calling to Zuma, and you're actually going to see with the strategy, Zuma is always the first guy into action, and once he's dead, he is one of the best at flipping through his teammates' screens and then telling them where to go, how to set up, and where the danger's coming from.
I would say that's a little bit of a gift and a curse, though, right? I mean, when everybody thinks they know the strategy and know how to play so well, it's like, well, if one person makes a call and it doesn't exactly work out, everyone always thinks in the back of their head, like, oh, well, I knew what to do in that situation. And then you don't know. I feel like that was a little bit of an issue with FaZe last year is, well, you know, in Advanced Warfare, right, you know, Clay is the one who's shot calling for them. He's giving them everything. And, you know, when they start to play well, everybody else starts to feel like they know what's going on just as well. Going into Black Ops 3, everybody had a different mindset of how they should play. And I feel like they never really kind of set on one play style and stuck with it. I feel like that was the biggest part of Black Ops 3 for me, for them, that they really struggled with. They never really, like, got a play style that worked and stuck with it. Every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you see them changing. No, this guy's running AR. Now he's running SMG. Now he's the anchor and he's the slayer. It's like they never got like comfortable with their roles. And I feel like that could be a little bit because everybody wants to shot call. I think if they let Clay just go back to making the calls and the others can focus on slaying, I think it's a team that can really kind of get back to that top spot.
I don't know, man. After watching their scrims, I'm letting Zuma call every round of Search and Destroy. He's a Search and Destroy player back in Black Ops 2. That's where he made a name for himself. In Ghost, he was an all-star. AW, he really broke out in the respawn world, just showing what he can do with the SMG, running and gunning. But in Search, I'm looking at Zuma to be one of their key players. Attached, though, that's the guy I want to watch at the start of the hard point. He's a guy who loves to get in your face. Also, some fantastic flanks early on in just the first few weeks of IW. I think he's going to be one of those guys, when he's dropping the numbers, it is a guaranteed victory for FaZe.
It's just the aggression that Attach and Zuma just play with, and just the pressure they put on the opposing team. It's like when you're trying to set up and you're trying to, you know, keep your comms kind of stable, you know, when you're communicating with your teammates. It's like when those two guys are just flying and causing so much chaos on the map, like you're just trying to think like, okay, where are they? But then you're also getting shot by Enable and Clay, and then you got to worry about rotating and all these other things, and the game just becomes so much more chaotic than it really is.
All right, if you guys haven't watched Call of Duty competitively before, I know there's a lot of people out on the show floor today. Welcome. This is Call of Duty, played by professional gamers. This is how they make their living, and they're going to be playing 5 games in this first match. It's going to be the first to 3 wins and the best of 5, but you're going to see Hardpoint, always game number 1. Search and Destroy, which is where you're going to take a bomb and try and plant it at one of 2 sites. That's going to be game 2. And then it's basically our version of basketball. Uplink is game number 3. You got a drone, throw it up for 1 point, or dunk it in for 2.
And I love what they've done with the drone camera for Uplink. That's an awesome addition to Codcaster. I definitely want to use that feature more. And I think, though, we don't see as many long one-point throws than we did last year, but I think the drone camera is going to be awesome to use.
Well, enough about drones. Let's talk about video games. It is time to play. We're going to start things off with Attach from FaZe. There's a look at his teammate Zuma, but Attach is going to be opening things up. And Matt, let's take a look at what he's running. No surprise here. He's got the OSA assault rifle, one of the classic weapons. He's got 4 attachments. Going to be using the flechette grenade as well as blast shield. He's going to have his tac and everything else to basically fend off those incoming projectiles.
Yeah, it's going to be Renegades getting control of the hardpoint early. It's going to be attached, though, able to pick up one, trying to find a second player in it, but he's got teammates there in support. So now FaZe gets control. They're going to start racking up points. I was looking through some of the FaZe members. They're actually going to have Clayster running the K-Bar. They're going to have Attach and Zuma with the OSA, and they're actually going to have Enable running the NV4. So a little bit of a mix of weapons from FaZe Clan.
Let's take our screen over to Enable. Diabolic with 3 big kills in the feed. You can see he just cleared house, but Enable staying alive, causing some problems. It's going to be FaZe with the early lead, but the big thing coming up here is going to be the rotation to the bottom hill. You can see Enable's going to take the long route, but it is already Renegades with 3 men set up around this new position.
And I love how Enable played that with the NV4. The NV4 obviously does not have the highest rate of fire. It's very good in the mid-range game. And to play there on the bridge with it, and you just see the angles that Enable is playing with it, it's just perfect use of this weapon. And he's going to push up into bedroom, going to clear this out before FaZe jumps on the hill, and it's going to be FaZe breaking that very quick. So we talked a little bit about that in the pregame, Puckett. Renegades, they can rotate early as much as they want, but if they don't win the gunfights, it does not matter.
Now, we talk quite a bit about the weapons used here in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, but also keep an eye on the bottom right. You're going to see players using different rigs, which allow you to use different payloads. Currently, you're watching Attach, who has that rewind. Once that white bar fills up the circle completely, it's going to turn gold, and that's going to let you know the rewind is ready. It's kind of like Glitch, but this time around in the new game, not only do you go backwards to your old position, you're also going to regain full health as well as full ammo.
Yeah, it's very useful. I know when you're in those 1v2 situations, you're able to pop rewind and make those hero plays. It's going to be on FaZe, taking the remainder time on this hard point. You see, they're going to actually be set up for the next one. So Renegades, things are not looking good for them right now. Attach getting off to an 8-2 start, Enable 9-4. So you see, the way that FaZe is playing right now, it's going to be attached to the market, just locking this area down. But the players from Renegades are attacking over the bridge side.
And Clayster did just fall to Attach his left, so he's got to pick up these kills. Gets the assist on one, spots 2 more players, calls it out, and Enable is there on the flank to pick up 2. A lot of spawns still coming in. This is going to be a big 1v1 inside the grave zone. You can see Clayster gets there just in time to pick off Ivy. Attach cleans up the kill on the right. FaZe with a fantastic hold, and now they are pulling away 85 to just 27. Renegades has been spanked on the last 2 hard points.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, you really need Chino to pick it up. You're on the side of Renegades, actually, weapon-wise, so we'll just touch on that a little bit. They're actually running 3 K-bars and 1 OSA. But Chino getting off to that slow start. He's been a player, throughout the last year on DT and Renegades who's really put up some nice numbers in the respawn game modes. They rely on him so heavily, and when he is not slaying, you see what happens. The score 104 to 33 in favor of FaZe Clan. Renegades trying to hold this back broken area, make a little bit of a comeback.
Now, Sender did get into the hard point first, but Chino losing that hotel is huge. Now you see all 4 arrows from FaZe just flooding through. Chino trying to come off that respawn and chase him down, but that's 2 players just injured. Can't finish off these kills. Ivy on the flank with the OSA is going to have to wait for his teammates to push, because currently FaZe with a strong setup. 2 fall, but Attach still in the back, and this is the man of the match so far. 12-2. Only 2 deaths in your first 3 minutes. The man is on fire. Let's take it to Enable, though, as it looks like the push with Clayster is going to fail. All alone, it's Ivy picking up the kills. The final 10 seconds are going to go to Renegades, as Diabolic should be able to hold this one down.
Yeah, it looked like FaZe there, that the last push, they weren't sure if they were going to contest for it, if they were going to rotate towards the next one, because they actually get a split spawn there. If Enable would have waited for teammates to come from the other side, they would have been able to pinch on that broken hill and get control of it, but they opt to rotate towards this next hill in the hotel hallway.
About halfway to his reactive armor, Diabolic will not have that payload ready for this hard point unless he picks up all kinds of points. No one getting points, though, for this Renegade squad. They're simply getting outslayed. You look at the numbers. You have 2 players, even Chino and Ivy, getting outshot on the other end. It's Attach continuing to dominate, 13-5. You got Enable right there with them at 16-10. Clayster and Zuma not off to the hottest starts. We'll see what's going wrong here for Zuma.
Yeah, I mean, Zuma, he's not going to have the greatest of stats. It's just the impact that he makes on the game, just playing aggressive, opening up lanes for his teammates. But Zuma, sometimes it's really just kind of him or Attach. Like, one of the 2 has these monster slaying games, and the other is just kind of supporting that player, putting the aggression on the hard point.
Clayster, this is a guy who's been around basically since day 1 of competitive Call of Duty. He really broke out in Black Ops 2 on the MLG Pro circuit, and since then, he's been a staple. He's been on all the top orgs, He's now playing for this FaZe clan, and when you think of FaZe, this is the guys whose face I think of first. He's the one always celebrating, always getting the team hyped up, but he's also known for being one of the greatest assault rifle players in Call of Duty history, and Infinite Warfare, it's all about ARs, at least at the start here of esports.
Yeah, and Clay has been a player who just adjusts to new games very fast. He's always able to pick it up, figure out the best strategies, and help his team win, and it's going to be FaZe still up big here as they have control of the bridge area. You see they're just trying to push all the way through, trying to spawn Renegades down as far as humanly possible, and Clay is going to be able to pick up one, going to run out of ammo, gets out of harm's way there. It's going to be Zuma able to pick up that next kill up, and you see Clay, he's going to get on that rotation. Only 8 seconds left on bridge. Renegades, they're down by so much, they're forced to play for that hard point, not going to be able to rotate early.
And Clayster, we're going to stay on board with him through the respawn. He's going to be using the Claw as his payload. He's got resupply as well, so always going to have plenty of ammo. The K-bar with 4 attachments. If you want to play like Clay, you want the ELO, the quick draw, 4 grip, and of course stock, as well as running Dead Silence, Dexterity, and Marksman.
Yeah, Dead Silence has been a little bit of a staple now for Respawn game modes. I've been watching a lot of players play, and they seem to all go with that. The player's extremely loud. The player character is extremely loud, so don't want to get called out in Respawn game modes as easily, so going to put Dead Silence on. So interesting. I mean, we never seen that really in previous Call of Duty games for Respawn games, but now in Infinite Warfare, I feel like right now, the tacticals, we don't see as many players use, so you don't see a lot of, blast resist and tac resist, so you're seeing a lot more gun-heavy stacks on the weapons.
Renegades catching up on the scoreboard, brings this one back to about 60-point differential. Diabolic really turning up on this last hill. I saw him get at least 5 kills in the feed. Now he's going to pick up the final scrap time before rotating. This is your money hill, though. Can they lock down the graveyard already? Ivy's going to get your first pick. Diabolic, great reactions on attach. Now a second on Clayster. 3 down for FaZe, but they're constantly spawning up, and that is going to be all 4 down. Now they've got control. If they can pick up just 2 more kills, the pressure's coming from their right. Are they going to be able to lock this one in?
Yeah, and Diabolic almost fully streaked out right now on a 7 streak. I totally jinxed him right there. He's playing phenomenal for the side of Renegades, 20 and 19. We saw him go on the 7 streak, but he has the most hill time for the team as well. We'll see if those streaks come into play. He's going to call one in now. Going to be nobody in the hill, though, right there. You're not going to get anybody with that streak. FaZe just trying to push from the bridge side. It's going to be Clayster picking up 3 in the feed. Ivy, though, trying to hold on to this hill for Renegades. He's going to get in it. Only 12 seconds left, so even though FaZe loses that hill, they don't give up a ton of time to Renegades. I feel like that was just a lot of open time on that hard point.
Yeah, and we're going to leave Ivy as he collects your final 15 points. Sender was in a great position to cause problems, but he's cleaned up. FaZe clearing broken. Everybody is going to be removed from the hill. Now the score streak's coming in, but it's going to be Sender from Renegades making his push up. They're trailing by 40. He's got to get in, and he's got to pick up 2. He's got a Synaptic waiting for him at the top that should be attached. And you can see the battle going down. Attach is going to win it once again, and that may have just done it for FaZe. They're just 33 points away from game number 1 victory.
Yeah, and you see both teams actually spawning out pretty far from the hard point at this time. So FaZe now are going to have to hit those cutoffs. And you see Clay Owl, he actually turns the wrong way there on the bridge. He turns to his left. He's going to pick up at least 1 player. Cut the Renegades. Reinforcements coming in to try and lock down this hard point. Doesn't do so. So Renegade's going to get the remainder of this time. Not the worst thing in the world for FaZe Clan. They still have a lead. Renegades have definitely fought their way back into this game within striking distance.
And honestly, I thought Attach with the kill on Center in the back was going to force the team to spawn up, but 2 big kills from Renegades at the front spawned FaZe out. Now you're going to see the final seconds picked up by Zuma, but we are going to at least 1 more hard point. And look at the scoreboard, Matt. It's Renegades. Almost back in this one. Will they be able to tie it up here? There's a 2-kill opportunity, and Chino's going to pick them both. Now looking for the 30. He knows the spawns are nearby. Going to find the players outside on the patio. 1 goes down, but 2 more there. Ivy now has to defend himself. There's another defensive kill. They've broken 200 points. Will they catch up? They got 35 seconds left here in the hallway.
And we've seen FaZe do this all of last year. This is the typical FaZe hardpoint game where they're slaying out of control at the beginning. They have this huge lead, and then they end up blowing it towards the end. Renegades gets a few seconds there on the hardpoint. FaZe, though, able to get back in, control the hotel hallway. You see where Renegades is spawning. I would like to see them actually try and pinch on this hill, but they're all going to flood it from one direction. It's going to be Diabolic with 2. Now they're going to be in control of the hardpoint. Few seconds left on it, 10 to be exact. It's going to go back out towards the bridge, and then you have to see Renegades put up a good fight on this next one.
And you're going to see Ivy once again. He's that OBJ player. He's going to milk the time. Will he be able to pick up the kills though out of rotation? There is a flank behind him from FaZe, and it's Zuma once again causing the problems. FaZe trying to set up on the bridge. Zuma's got to watch their back from Cathedral side, but all the pressure is coming from Broken. So he's got to push up. 2 players still to beat. The rewind goes down. He knows the player's still going to be in action, and it's Renegades continuing to battle. Chino trying to back up Diabolic, but it's FaZe inside the hill. They can't break in time. Attach celebrating the win 250 to 224 as FaZe locks it up.
It's a good win for FaZe, but not as dominant as it could have been. Like, they were up by so many points, you know, and Renegades, they fought valiantly back. They started to get hot towards the end there. I think if you're FaZe, you're pretty happy with the win, but I would not be celebrating that too much. I think Renegades definitely fought their way back into it in the second half. I look for Renegades to put together a pretty good S&D as well. Could fight their way back into the series.
Well, speaking of search and destroy, we saw kind of the dominance in Hardpoint. Let's take a look real quick at the numbers. Attached, 32 and 21. 32 and 25 from Enable, and then on the other side, the only people keeping up with him, it was Diabolic in moments, but at the end, he finishes -5. Ivy, most time on his team, +6 with 7 defense. The new player brought on, really showing up in their first respawn. Will he be able to do or have a similar performance when it comes to search though, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about it. We thought that Ivy versus Zuma was going to be a big matchup coming into this one. In Search and Destroy, he's going to need to play well. I look at Chino and S&T too to really bounce back.
Mean Sheen?
Yeah, with a sniper rifle in his hand could make a difference. But FaZe, they look strong in Hardpoint, but we saw that a lot last year. Very strong in Hardpoint. They would lose a lot of the Search and Destroys, and they'd get good at S&D. They'd lose the Hardpoint. They'd lose the uplink. So it's kind of, I'm still like in a wait and see. At least for me with FaZe, I need to see it put together for a whole series to believe it. But a very good first Hardpoint.
You know, in the new game, it's so fast, and the spawns, you never really know where your opponent's going to be flooding from. I felt like FaZe did a pretty good job of forcing their opponents out, but when they had a chance to lock up the game, it was never easy for them, Matt.
No, they really, I feel like it's kind of just an issue with them through Hardpoints where they get into like these little lulls where, they're playing well, and then they kind of let their foot off the gas, and the other team comes back, and then it's like they realize how close the score is then, and they're scrambling, trying to put things together. I feel like that's really what's going on with this FaZe team. It's like they just really need to just put teams away, just really close them out.
And we're going to be switching up here for Search and Destroy. Our team's going to switch sides as we adjust that in our Codcaster. Big props to everyone who has worked on Codcaster mode back at IW. One of our favorite tools here. It gets better every year, Matt. Yeah, I mean, just the adjustments. I feel like, Black Ops 3, they made a lot of great adjustments to Codcaster. This game, we're starting off with already with those great adjustments, plus some extra ones. It's just great work by the entire team at Infinity Ward. Just putting together these great features, able to make this game very easy to broadcast. And we're taking a look at our players. What do you expect them to be running here as we're going into our next map? This is going to be throwback S&D. Yeah, so I mean, you're still going to see a lot of the OSA in the K-Bar. I feel like Search and Destroy, you can get away with maybe a sniper rifle. I feel like the NV4 can be a little bit more useful in S&D. You can play a little bit more at distance. You don't need those fast fire rates, just being aggressive over towards the different bomb sites. But I believe we are getting ready to go right into game. All right, so we are getting into the action here. And we got a pink team somehow. I'm excited for it, Matt. Yeah? Yeah. Attach is pulling out the sniper right away, though. So I am excited for this one. And we are going to have RNG playing as your red team here. That's going to be FaZe as your pink squad. I got fat thumbs, guys. We're going into the action, though, with Attach. And he's going to be sticking with the rewind as usual. I can't wait to see, though, will they be able to get the early pick? He spotted 2 players. Going to call that out. Pre-aiming for a third. Didn't see him peek quite yet. But the bomb is going to be moving up, and that's in the hands of Enable. Let's take it over to our bomb carrier. Now, Attach, the sniper rifle he was running is actually the KBS Longbow. A very effective sniper rifle. 1-hit kill above the waist, so I don't want to be peeking. It's going to be Attach able to get first blood with that sniper rifle. So and now, that's a headshot, too. Yeah, now FaZe should be able to make their way up towards the A bomb site with ease here. And Enable is going to be sitting low. Bomb still waiting to be planted. You can see the cover fire out ahead of him. As it looks like that is going to be Zuma backing down the flank coming in, though. If he plays their answer back, he will. Now it's a 2-on-2. Chino and Ivy left alive. Now, it'll be Clay on your screen. Just searching around this back area. It's going to be Zuma able to pick up Chino, and it'll be Ivy the last one left. I actually see 1v3, Ivy. Excuse me.
Yeah, it'll be a 1v3. I believe Ivy having some issues right now, so it should be one that FaZe could win. Don't think that Ivy's going to be able to win this
Yeah,
one.
I think we may see a restart.
Yeah, there should be a
here.
restart.
We have our admin talking over, and that's going to give us an opportunity to fix the logos here. So, not a big deal. It looks like we are going back into throwback, but talking big picture on this map, of course, in Search and Destroy, it's going to be the first team to 6 rounds. Looking back at previous titles, Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, would you consider S&D a strength for this FaZe clan?
At times, it has been. I feel like in Advanced Warfare, they were just so good in the respawn game modes. That's where they dominated. At times last year, they were very good in S&D. It was probably their strongest game mode. In this game, it's interesting. You know, we have not seen a lot of teams play 4v4 Search and Destroy. A lot of their teams, you know, hiding strategies. Search and Destroy, not a game mode that they scrim quite often. I think you will see more teams than not on the offensive side of things head over towards that A bomb site. B is just so wide open. It's just so easy to just get picked off from range. So I feel like a lot of the time you'll see teams, you know, play a lot like how FaZe did, try and get a pick off in the middle of the map or over towards A.
And you can see Renegades just chatting with our admins real quick as we will sort this one out. If you're just joining us, FaZe was able to take the hard point. A pretty close one as Renegades brought it back in the final 2 minutes, but at the end of the day, they are up now 1-0. Enable looking over at his teammates, talking about the game plan. What is going to be the opening strategy? Are you going to keep attach on the sniper after showing it here in the first round?
Oh, I think you do. I think attach is so good with the sniper rifle. I think you leave it in his hands. I'm really wondering, what is Enable doing with the hair? It's grown out a little bit.
It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. You know, my dog talking over to FaZe now. I imagine we'll get a full restart there on throwback, Search and Destroy. It's FaZe up 1-0 in the overall series. They looked very good in that first hardpoint, a lot like how we saw FaZe look last year, where they start out strong in hardpoint, they have a huge lead, and then towards the second half, it was Renegades able to make a comeback, but FaZe just too strong in the end. The slaying power, just way too much. See a shot. The Renegades team there just relaxing a little bit after that first hardpoint game. I feel like that one just woke them up a little bit, got them mentally into the series, now looking to bounce back in the S&D.
There we go. Clayster, so focused, always. He knows it's game time.
I think he's trying to locate the camera, but just can't figure it out. I think that's what Clay's trying to do. He's looking over towards me. He's like shaking his head. No, yeah, it's the camera that's pointing directly at you. Yep, that's the one. Yep. It's a shocker with some of these guys. You know, the camera's pointing directly at him, still doesn't realize which camera he's actually being spotted by. Clay, one of the smarter players in the scene, able to figure it out after I told him which camera to look into.
Yeah, Clay!
Just waiting for the players to get back into this one. We should be able to start it up right away. Not much of issue. Ivy's right back into the lobby. And then we'll get this game number 2 underway. I believe we're going to get a full restart. We'll have to confirm that with the admins. Yes, it will be a full restart on game number 2.
Game.
We'll go right back into it. It'll be attach and FaZe on offense. We'll see if he brings out the sniper rifle again. I think you do. You were successful. Got to pick with it. No reason to go away from it.
What's your best S&D map, Mr. X?
I like this one, to be honest with you. I think this one is a pretty easy one to play, quite honestly. You just put a lot of focus over on the A site. There's, you know, a few lanes you can go from on the offensive side of things. The B bomb site, you kind of, I don't want to say ignore almost, but you just see how open it is. Very difficult to get over towards it.
And here we go. We're jumping into the action. We're going to be keeping an eye on our bomb carrier. That's most likely Enable. We're going to be seeing, though, is Attach going to pull out the sniper rifle once again? No, it looks like he's going to choose to go with the K-bar. Zuma also going to be rocking that K-bar, and Enable, he's going to be running the OSA, as Clayster is going to pick up a third K-bar. So, Matt, let's talk a little bit about this K-bar. Why is it such a popular pick for FaZe Clan? You can see already they lose Enable but trade out Ivy.
I mean, with the rate of fire that it has in the range, it is a very powerful weapon, and then even up close. I mean, obviously the OSA very good up close, but the K-bar definitely serviceable at close range engagements. And you see the position that FaZe is in now. They're able to get one more kill, so they have the man advantage, 3-2. Zuma working his way around the back, and they're going to actually rotate the bomb over towards B. So a little bit of a different look here from FaZe.
And Zuma is actually primed to pick up 2 kills. There's the first. He's going to have a player on his right. But it looks like that bomb is going down. And now you are in a really tough position if you're Sender. Pistol versus K-Bar, not going to win that fight. FaZe, a pretty clean sweep. Even though Renegades got the first kill, they answered right back. It was Zuma with 3 big kills in the round, and they get the bomb down.
Yeah, you saw Enable trying to pick up one at the beginning of the round, putting a lot of pressure up through the middle of the map over by that center train. He gets taken out, but then it's FaZe. They answer back pretty quickly, though. They're able to pick up 2 kills, and then it was Zuma going all the way around the flank, just put a lot of pressure on the Renegade squad.
We're going to stay on board with defense, if you guys don't mind. I saw this toy being brought out by Mr. Clayster.
Oh,
and he has plenty of targets. Picks the first one. Diabolic is going to be dropped. Clay's going to have to retreat. And it looks like the pressure is going to stop there. Ivy, your bomb carrier, is going to hide around the corner, knows they are not in a position to get that bomb down quite yet. And
that's why, you know, coming into events, like when I'm trying to like do some research or talk to players, like I really just don't take a lot of stock in watching like Search and Destroy tournaments, because you see just so many different things happen. Obviously, a lot of the S&D tournaments 3v3, now in competitive we play 4v4. You just see different things come out. Clayster with a fantastic snipe early, and you see Ivy just using the wall runs, going over the doorway, so the other opposing team does not know where he's coming from. It's going to be Sender on a flank, able to get 1.
But Ivy was dropped, so Sender once again, 1v3. He picks up 1, not going to happen. And Clayster standing up, getting his team fired up, and letting Diabolic and the boys know what's up.
Yeah, really nice shot there from Clayster early. It's quite funny when Renegades trying to go on that push. They actually had 2 players running on that wall run. A little bit of a body stack issue there. Lucky 2 players didn't get taken out.
Right, no collateral.
Yeah, lucky they did not get a collateral there. But FaZe looking strong here in S&D.
And there was a sniper put away, though. Clayster choosing to go back with the K-Bar. FaZe on the attack. Grenades going out. And Clay is going to see some hit markers, now doubling back for the bomb. The action, though, already in the middle. You're going to see it was attached, trading out with Diabolic. Let's go to Enable, though. Enable set up for success. Not so much, says Ivy. And now the players having to wrap back towards the B. This is the first time that FaZe has been the underdogs in the round. 3 still up for Renegades.
Yeah, and FaZe does not really need to do anything right now. They have a minute to go. Still a ton of time to work with in this round. They don't need to go for a plant right away. You do see Renegades, their buddying system together, so they're going to have all 3 players just running the same routes and the same rotation. It looks like FaZe is going to opt to double back. I would like to see them just play a little bit more stagnant over on the B side. I believe they would have been able to get a kill or 2, but looks like they're going to make their way over towards A.
Yeah, and you can see this Renegades pack just swarming together. They don't see anything at B. That is a clear sign with 30 seconds left. Their opponent's probably rotating, and that's exactly what happened. Clayster does get the bomb down for FaZe. Once again, this is a 2-on-3 situation for FaZe, and they just lost 1. Clay versus the world gets 2. Can he get the 3rd? Clayster, everybody!
Oh, he picks up the first 2, pops his overdrive just to give a little bit of a different look, obviously coming very fast around the corner here. This 3rd player had no idea what hit him there. Clayster with a fantastic 1v3 clutch.
I mean, that 2nd kill, he knew he could shoot through the fence, able to finish it off, and then just the confidence. A lot of players might back down there. Not Clayster. He is jumping right in your face. Here we go. Off the respawn, it's Clay with the snipe again. Renegades going with the same attacking strat. Is this going to happen a 2nd time in a row? No, he misses to the right, and now Clay should be dead to rights. Trading kills is Diabolic. And he will have this bomb, putting the pressure on Clay. They played too aggressive, though, and they're punished. Now a 2-on-3. Renegades, well, it's just Sender left alive as Enable picked up the double.
It's like I feel like a billion years ago when I started playing first-person shooters, one of the things that somebody told me is, like, don't chase kills. Like, that's, like, the one way to get you killed as easily. And you saw Diabolic there. He knew that Clayster was playing in that position with the sniper rifle, tried to chase the kill. There's another player there in the back, took him out easily, gave FaZe the advantage in the round.
I think that's just playing with a little too much emotion. Diabolic was the player that was picked by Clayster in that first attack. Then the 2nd time around, he survives it, wants to punish, but he's just chasing at that point. Let's start things off, though, with Zuma. He seems to be getting in the action quite early with Enable every round. Look for these 2 to be trading out. It's Enable behind him carrying that bomb. Zuma is going to be the lead blocker, so even if Zuma falls, Enable should be able to pick up the kill, but Zuma ran right past the opponent. And now they will connect. The melee lands first, and Diabolic is cleaned up out of the air. A 4-on-3. Bomb's already been planted. Everything looking smooth here for the FaZe clan.
And I just love the aggression that FaZe clan is playing with. You just see how far pushed up Zuma is. He's able to get 1. Chino gets 2, but the round looking very good for FaZe. They had the bomb down. They have a 2v1 situation. Chino trying to make something happen here mid-map. He's going to drop, but you just see the difference in this FaZe team. Just playing with that aggression. Nobody second-guessing each other. Everybody just flying towards a bomb site. They cannot be stopped right now.
They look so practiced. You know,
Yes.
Everybody kind of playing Modern Warfare Remastered, the nostalgia right when the game dropped. FaZe, they transitioned into practice mode, and they have been on the grind the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, they have looked very strong at the beginning of Infinite Warfare. It'll be interesting, though, when, like, another team kind of matches their slaying potential and, like, pushes back, like, how they answer. Whether they go back to what they did last year and play a little bit more passive or stick with that aggressive play style. To be Chino opening things up over at the A bomb side. He's able to get one, but he falls quickly at the hands of Enable. Kills traded out from both teams. It's going to be Ivy here in a position over at Lemon.
Yeah, and you got Ivy and Center basically walking back-to-back. They saw the pressure coming from everywhere. Sender watching their flank. Ivy going to retrieve the bomb, and they just gave up their position, though. So that's going to let Zuma and Clayster know exactly where they're at. Clayster, remember, he opened up this round with the sniper rifle. So this is not going to be easy for FaZe if they get in that close quarters positions over here at the barn.
Yeah, and FaZe still checking over at the A bomb site. They've seen nothing. It's quite odd. We're not seeing a rotation a little bit earlier, but now the rotation going to come in as soon as they see the bomb's going to be planted over at B. It's going to be Clay opening things up, taking out Cinder. Now we're going to have a 1v1. It's going to be Ivy using his rewind. Rewinds right back into Zuma. Zuma's going to defuse the bomb. Clay is just screaming. Like, he's not even like screaming anything. He's just making noise just for the sake of making noise.
He's squawking, man.
Yep. FaZe with a 6-0 in SND.
It's all fun for FaZe right now.
Oh, yeah.
You just gave the other team a donut. And honestly, I thought Clayster in this round was going to be worthless. You don't get the first kill, and then Sender, even though the bomb is being planted, just so aggressive pushing out, and Clayster at range simply picks him off with the sniper rifle. I feel like this is Renegades making more poor decisions than it was FaZe really playing to perfection. But props to FaZe. If you give them the opportunity, they're not going to miss their shot.
Yeah, it seemed like Renegades at times, they were just like pressing the issue. Like they were just trying to create a play out of nothing where you got to let the game come to yourself a little bit. We can take a look at the scoreboard here. Zuma with a big game goes 9-4. Clay finishes 6-1. Everybody from FaZe played pretty well. Ivy leading Renegades yet again on the top of the leaderboards, but not good enough to get a win.
Tough game from this Renegade squad, but you know, they mentioned this is not one of their strengths. They're looking for wins in Game 1, Game 3, Game 5. Aren't able to get it in the search and destroy, but they get a chance in the uplink. Is it going to be a 3-0 though? Let us know in the chat, guys. What do you think? Is FaZe going to steamroll their way through their first group play match, or is Renegades answering back? We're going to Precinct for the next game of uplink.
They look like they're primed to get a 3-0 victory here. I think anyone would be kind of, I don't want to say crazy, but that's kind of the word I'm going to use here. They would be crazy to pick against FaZe Clan right now. They've just looked so strong in our first two maps. We've known that they've been one of the more practice teams coming in this event as well. It looks like that practice is paying off.
And you got Clayster talking smack.
Yeah.
Like I want to curse on stream because that's how hype Clayster's getting over there. But he's looking over after he sniped Diabolic mid-round. He's standing up, pointing at him. They're trying to get in their opponent's
the
head.
old Clay.
And this is just an exhibition, guys. We're not even at Vegas yet, the massive tournament. FaZe, they are setting the tone for CWL 2017.
Yeah, I mean, Clay, one of the more emotional players we have in the CWL at Vegas. I expect him to just play absolutely out of his mind. He just gives so much energy to the team and crowd. It's like one of the best things to see FaZe play in a live environment.
There's a look at Diabolic. You can see no communication really going on. So these guys a little bit quiet. I do see Sender kind of barking out some orders. So maybe everyone's just listening to the shot caller. On the other side, there is a look at the dynamic duo. You got Clayster, who normally likes to sit back, attach, a perfect complement, likes to play up in your opponent's face. And really, you'll see Attach kind of feeding off that energy that Clayster's putting out there. He's also standing up now, making some noise when his teammates make some plays.
It's like Attach is all grown up now. It's like he doesn't have to have Clay just like, bark out for him. But we'll get right into this game. So it will be FaZe versus Renegades, game number 3. Now, just taking a look here, the one spawn you really want to look out for, Puckett, is when the team can get the drone and attack that back alley. That's really where you can make an impact on the scoreboard, and it'll be a Clayster in Co spawning on the side where you want to defend that back alley. So Renegades has the preferred spawn here, starting off early.
And they're going to win their first gunfight. It's Attached, no surprise, taking out Ivy. Zuma with the double. Clayster already setting up to watch the spawns. And this could be a very fast game of uplink here. If FaZe continues to lock down the positions, Enable with that drone though, gonna get caught. It's gonna be Chino and Diabolic trying to answer back. Diabolic with 2 isn't gonna be enough, and you know, I'm trying to jump around to these Renegades players to see how they're pushing out of their base. It looked like they did get 3 kills, so should be able to push after this next one, and that is a great job by Sender to just bait the drone. 3 straight kills from Renegades. Now they can make their push, and what's even better is they have a chance to set up a spawn trap here on the FaZe clan.
Yeah, ideally this is not the way you would want to push the drone, because you want to bring it all the way around the other side to the top side of your minimap and actually spawn FaZe clan in this back alley you see Sender walking towards. But it's going to be the side of Renegades picking up some kills, Sender leading the way. It's going to be a 2-point play. It's going to be Ivy dunking that one home. So Renegades going to get on the board here early.
And Chino is going to be rotating to make sure no one can push back. His teammates, though, have to play some defense. It's going to be FaZe on the attack. Chino, here's the call-outs, and that's 4 straight kills. So Renegades, they've already punished once with a dunk, now setting themselves up for a second, and look where Ivy is playing. He's watching that back trap. I think they've got it here, Matt. How many scores can they rally in? It looks like FaZe did just spawn out. As I say it, Sender with your drone going in for the 2-pointer anyway.
So I like what FaZe did there. They end up giving up the score, but they're set up for this next drone. They just need to control it enough to get the map control back and then try and push it up. You can't see them just kind of frantically grab the drone and try and push up the mini-map, but it's going to be Renegades picking up some more kills, and they're going to get drone control. So even though FaZe was set up for it, they don't get control of the drone, and now you start to see the drone getting passed forward.
And there's a look at Diabolic. I think he's going to be your key player. He's the one kind of setting up at the ticket booth each time. Ivy working with him. Ivy caught reloading, though, and that is 4 straight kills from FaZe. We're going over to player 4, aka Zuma from the FaZe clan. He's going to be making his way to this new drone spawn, and after the reset, this could be FaZe's first successful attack. You see all 4 players up. That's going to be Enable pushed into the base, and let's go over to Enable for the moment. He's already picked up 2, looking for a 3rd, unable to score it, but it's going to be Clayster moving in with the drone. Here's a dunk for FaZe. They now trail by just 1 dunk or 2 points.
Yeah, and if you're FaZe, you feel pretty good if you could hold this score going in to the next half, because obviously, you know, when you're attacking that back alley, you're able to put a lot of points on the board. Now, we'll see the drone in the hands of Diabolic now, and Renegades are able to push up. They're going to throw the drone a little bit forward, trying to get some yardage on it. It's going to be Zuma, though, able to pick up 2 big kills. Stops the Renegades push.
And that's just trying to force it too much there. You know, a little bit of desperation play. You think you have the momentum. You think you have them locked in. But you got to be ready to fight. And they were not prepared for Zuma and attached to push out. Zuma wins a big one now. On board with Enable. And Enable cleaning things up with Clay attached now in the action as he bursts through the center. You're going to have 4 players against 3 as RNG comes off spawns. Enable meets Diabolic, but now it's Ivy and Sender once again. Does attach, just rotate this drone around. What's the game plan here, Matt? Are they just trying to run the time off the clock?
Well, they were bringing it topside, and they had an open window where Renegades was pushing straight through, and they would have been able to move the drone up, but they actually throw the drone down. They stop the slay a little bit, and now it's going to be Attach getting the drone back, throws it down. He's not able to pick up that kill. It's Sender that comes through lobby and is able to get 2. Big kills there by Sender, because that looked like it could have been a score for FaZe.
Sender, a minute left. They're playing from the preferred side, but they only lead by 2 points. Chino now coming off the spawn. Good lead kills by Diabolic once again, but as Diabolic falls at the hands of Zuma, it's going to be up to Chino and Ivy. Chino going to watch his teammate get the drone, so he's got to get the picks. There's the first. Ivy's going to push out with Sender, and it looks like as Sender distracts, Ivy should be able to lock in this top position. They got FaZe in the back alley. Chino goes back for the drone, and you still got Diabolic as a lead blocker. This should be another dunk, and it's coming in 6-2, a 4-point advantage with 23 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, and this is the trap that you wanted to see from Renegades early, is when you get them spawning in this back alley, it's so difficult. You can either go out towards gas, or you can try and flood through that narrow choke all the way in the back. Not many teams able to do it. A 1-point throw there at the end coming in from Sender. It's a nice decision. Don't know if he would have been able to make it in for 2.
And the drone will reset in the middle of the map. We take our screen back to Enable. That's not enough time for anything to happen for FaZe. Down 5, no big deal, says FaZe, but you can see Renegades feeding off the energy. It's Sender hopping up and giving high fives to the rest of the squad.
Yeah, it's not a huge deficit for FaZe Clan. Obviously, you know, when you attack this preferred side here in the second half, you look for them to put up some big numbers. And, you see, I believe Attach is getting his headset checked here, and then we can jump right into the second half.
And it looks like Sender and crew are ready to roll. Attach has got his headset back on. And we should be ready to play, but down 5 points. FaZe Clan, for the first time, is trailing in a game here. In group play, this is Group A. Once again, if you're just joining us, earlier we saw Orbit pick up a big win over EG. If FaZe is able to take this game 3, they will be playing Orbit for a spot in our bracket on Sunday.
And with the slaying power that FaZe has, if they're able to get Renegades in that spawn trap, I do not know if they're going to be able to make it out. You see Clay just getting that drone pickup now, going to throw it against the wall, just making sure it doesn't reset back to home because he has teammate support coming over, but he's quickly taken out. It's going to be Ivy and Diabolic picking up a kill apiece. Enable just trying to hold on to this side of the map. FaZe Clan goes out of bounds there for a second. He's able to get one. You see the nades coming in. Diabolic picks up 2. It's going to be attached set up on the new drone spawn. So FaZe trying to get control of drone. He's able to get 1, not going to be able to pick up a second. It's going to be Sender in lobby, and now kills just being exchanged inside lobby as both teams fight for the drone.
And how big is Sender right here? 2 kills. Now they're set up to watch the drone. You got a 5-point advantage, and the question I have is, do you even try and score in the second half? Or do you just keep the drone as far away from your uplink goal as possible?
You have to. I hate the strategies where you're just trying to hold on to the drone or just milk the clock. It always ends up trying to hurt you in the end. It almost actually hurts the side of Renegades there because they had the drone down at FaZe's a few seconds earlier. They're able to pick up the drone in the street. They're able to go on a little bit of a rally themselves. And see, it's going to be Diabolic set up inside lobby. He's able to get 1, looking for his second. He's able to pick up Zuma there, but it's going to be Clay able to get 2 kills, and now it should be FaZe trying to get drone, but the drone's actually over on the Renegade side of the map.
Can we go back to Diabolic? When you look at all player scores, Diabolic is having the best game out of all 8. 22 and 13 right now, and I feel like every time you see his name in the kill feed, it's there twice. He's picking up the multi-kills. He's not only picking up the first entry, he's also picking off the player that comes in to support.
Yeah, no, it's just Diabolic, I think, is doing a fabulous job just locking down this top ticket area, and as soon as he falls, you see that's when FaZe is going to start to flood in through this back, and it's going to be all on Chino. He's able to get 1. It's another teammate there as you see the rest of Renegades spawning in that back alley. It's going to be Zuma able to get 1 point on the board for FaZe, so they do get a score, putting some pressure on Renegades to rotate back to their base, but Renegades, as long as they control that top side of their minimap, they're in good shape. And
I thought Chino was actually going to be able to get the flank kill on the drone. Instead, Zuma just jumps out, puts up a 1-pointer, says that's good enough for now. And they brought it in within 2 dunks. Sender with your drone, and he is going to put it in for 1, and that's going to make it 3-8 and more difficult for FaZe. Let's go back to Attached. Coming off the spawn, he's going to be working with Enable, and Clacer is going to be out on the far flank in front.
Now you will see Attach in the mid-street, putting down some shots. This is obviously not the route you want to see FaZe take, but their best chance of getting a score in here first. It's going to be Zuma going in, picking up 2 points. So FaZe making this one close. 1:45 left on the clock. That's a big gun battle there for Enable to win on the drone spawn. He gets another player weak, just backing them down. It's a big play here by Enable.
And there goes the drone. Enable just throwing it out, gets the reload. Now he's ready to go. 2 players, though, about to meet him. Will they be distracted by the drone? It looks like it's intercepted, and Enable will be cleaned up. Chino ready to push this one forward. And he's got a player inside the restaurant. It looks like that is going to be Attached, just causing problems. He is stalling out the Renegades push, buying his teammates time, and there you see the flank come in, but it's Diabolic and Sender in the kill feed. A third one coming through. The payload is used, but Chino whipping the shot. No big deal, though, Matt. This is game 3. We're in the second half. FaZe trailing by 3 points, and they only have 55 seconds to work with.
That's a huge miss, though. I mean, he uses overdrive, Chino, and he doesn't get anything for it. Big misplay there as Zuma's going to throw the drone down. He's going to slay 1. There's 1 more player in the Renegade space, and that's going to be Diabolic. It's going to be a 1-point play there from Enable, so it's going to be FaZe only down 2 here. 35 seconds to go, and they have top control of the minimap. So you see that top area, we talked about how powerful it can be. They pick up these kills here, and they're in very good shape to get a 2-point play on the board, but the kill feed is going to be all Renegades.
Zuma, the last man standing, 24 seconds left in the game. Will he be able to make some plays? He's got to stop the drone carrier. There's also going to be 2 more players, though, in the convoy. Goes straight after the drone, spots the convoy, picks up one. Teammate comes in, that is Clayster and attached, and now you're going to see 3 kills go down. This is a chance to tie the game. 2 points left. The pass going up, but it's going to be stopped. They got to go for the dunk, and it's Enable putting it in. 8-8. It is tied up after both halves. I thought it was over. Renegades, a massive choke there over at the charging station, and FaZe is gonna punish not once, but twice.
So for a second there, I actually did not think that was going to work out in FaZe's favor. They try and actually go with a pass there, and the pass actually gets intercepted by the car. So they try to pass it. The player they're passing it to is running by the car, and just the motion of that player dragged the drone right into the car's way. But we going into overtime here in Uplink.
And Diabolic, the first one to grab that drone. It's Renegades off to the hot start. 3 down, Ivy with the 2-piece, and this should be a dunk. Diabolic with 1 player to beat is going to get in. There is the dunk, and that is a 17-second 2-pointer. I don't see FaZe beating that unless they come off the spawn perfect. Renegades, this is one of those opportunities where you just have to play smart.
Yeah, just about as good as push as you can get there for Renegades. They pick up 3 kills at the beginning. Only 1 player left for FaZe alive, not able to hold off their base. 17 seconds for FaZe to get to 2.
Perfect execution. We're going to start things off with Enable. You just saw the focus on his screen. He's got camo to work with, though. So he has a payload available. Zuma is going to trade with center, and Zuma does pick up a second. Enable using that camo. They got 4 seconds left. He needs to be passed to. Not going to happen. It's Renegades holding strong as the 17-second score in overtime is going to be enough to force a game 4.
Yeah, just about as fast as the score you can get in Uplink. So Renegades, they will force a game 4. Now you see just the confidence, I know, coming back into form for Renegades.
Sender turning up in the second half, 28. Game types we have seen in Infinite Warfare. If you don't have that reaction time, you're gonna get slaughtered on this map. So this is kind of the purest of pure raw slaying when it comes to IW.
I'm interested to see how this plays now that we don't have players running the ERAD and the NV4 as much, and how we see like more OSAs, more K-bars. I would not be surprised if this is a map where you see potentially like 4 OSAs not even have a K-bar, just because it's so close quartered and chaotic.
The Quad Osa.
Yeah. Quadosa, why not?
That's what Matt would do.
That's what I mean, I just told you that's what I would do. So yeah,
that's what Matt would do.
That's what I would do. That. What would you do, Puckett?
I would only run 3 in a K-bar, clearly, Matt.
Clearly, looking at a different strategy, but we actually do have the game ready to go underway.
And Matt is going to be driving this one for our friends over in production. And I'm really looking forward to this one, Matt.
Yeah, we can actually get right into game as will be game number 4 here between FaZe and Renegades, as we'll see. It'll be FaZe Clan on top as you see Attach. He's going to push straight into the hard point as FaZe gets control here early.
Now watch the spawns. You're always going to see that player in the back. Currently it's Zuma, player 4, who is going to watch the flank. As long as you're watching the flank, your opponents won't be able to spawn up right behind you. So this is a perfect setup on your first hard point. 30 seconds into the game and already 20 points scored by FaZe. They have a great setup. Unfortunately, finally, 2 are going to fall. They are going to have to battle back. Chino and Sender doing work, though, for Renegades, as they are going to be causing problems.
Yep, this is a lot of what we saw early from Renegades in the previous hardpoint, where, they get behind early, obviously very early in this one. not even done with the first hardpoint, but they need to get off to a better start at the beginning of these hardpoint games, get some more time on the clock. They can't fall behind by that much to FaZe Clan. And Chino starting things off hot, though. He's 7-3. Now you see Attachment setting up for this next hardpoint, picks up one on rotation as another player directly to his left. It's going to be Ivy, Cinder, and Chino in the kill feed for Renegades. Renegades able to get control. They need to get back towards the hardpoint. Both teams spawning further away.
Yeah, we turned off the X-ray for a moment here. We're going to put that back on for you guys. Here's a look at where the enemies are coming from. Now remember, in professional Call of Duty, you don't have those yellow outlines. You don't know that they're going to be pushing through. These players have just grinded the game. They know exactly where the pressure is going to be coming from, and they're setting up to protect themselves on the flank. Currently, this is the money hard point. If you set up first, you should be able to pick up a massive chunk of time. There's a great position in the back there to watch your flank, as well as really set up and just pick up headshots. And Attach, he loses all that protection. He's got to get it done on his own, and it looks like Renegade's going to let him soak up those last 15 seconds. The real fight's happening on the new hill where Clayster is currently set up.
It's like as good of a hole that was for Renegades on that hardpoint. Like they don't even have a lead to show for it after FaZe got off to a pretty good start. It'll be Renegades getting control of this next hardpoint. FaZe actually, had one player inside for a second though. Saw Zuma, he gets taken out by Cinder. Attach trying to make his way through that top hallway. Such a narrow choke, and see, it's just
Cinder's on fire right now.
Cinder and the rest of Renegades just playing very well. They're currently on a 4 streak. It's just these narrow choke points that FaZe is forced through that they can't get through right now. Cinder just doing a nice job blocking it down.
Yeah, Cinder, 44 seconds inside the hard points. He's 11-6, but Chino right behind him at 12-7. And Diabolic, he's basically even at this point. He's been kind of the spark for them, at least in the uplink. If he shows up, they could definitely outslay FaZe on this map. Currently, they're outscoring him by 20 points.
Yeah, it's going to be Renegades taking the lead here. It's going to be Ivy inside of the hardpoint for them. And you see on your mini-map, it looks like FaZe going to give up on this one. Only 10 seconds left. Not a smart idea to push towards the hardpoint with that little time left. And the Ivy poking out, sees one player there, and it's going to have the NV4 and the OSA. So he's got the OSA probably as primary, probably picks the NV4 off the ground, off of a dead body. Just good at range for these types of engagements.
And you can see Ivy, the objective player, is going to be running 4 perks here. So he's not going to have the strongest weaponry when it comes to those gunfights. Meanwhile, Chino on the flank with a K-Bar, not going to happen. Ivy coming off the spawn, and you can see that FaZe is just set up so well. How is the break coming in? It looks like it's all up to Ivy. Short range with the OSA. He's causing problems once again. Chino right behind him, picks up the third. Last man is in the back. They didn't see him. It's up to Diabolic, who is a little late on the flank. They will stop FaZe from scoring here. And it looks like Renegades might even pick up some scrap time here on our third hill.
I feel like they could have gotten even more time here on this hard point, because when Ivy picks up 2, and he goes out and he challenges that last guy, there needs to be follow-up right away. There needs to be another player there to trade that kill out right away and just keep pushing through, winning those 1v1 engagements against FaZe. Because they give up actually a decent amount of time there. FaZe gets right back into it. We go back to that center hard point.
Diabolic on your screen knows that they have to control. And it looks like he's able to pick up one. Knows there's an opponent nearby. His teammates are continuing to score inside the hill, and Diabolic is making sure they're not going to get spawned up behind. So, nice opening here. This is where FaZe got off to a hot start. Renegades answering back, and Chino, he is lighting things up. A 4 streak for him now. 18-3, working towards that Trinity rocket. He's only 150 points away. Could he score it here?
And he's going to get an assist there, does not get his score streaks. He's going to fall as you see FaZe just push into the hard point. They're able to get control. And it's interesting because if you're Renegades, you have to know, if you're looking in one direction on this center hard point and nobody's coming for, 3-4 seconds, you need to turn right away. They get caught off guard there as FaZe gets control of the hard point. 8 seconds left on it. FaZe just going to have to milk the rest of this time as they're down right now. Do not have the luxury to rotate early towards this next kill. Play, though, going to win 1 engagement. He's going to drop as soon as the new hardpoint pops up. Now they face his chance to try and break here.
Yeah, and I took it to Enable because he's the second man on the flank. Enable, though, getting crushed. It's Ivy causing problems, but while Enable falls, Zuma breaks in. He picks up 2, and Renegades, where they should have been able to pull away here with the early rotation, they're getting outshot by Zuma. Zuma on a 4 streak will not be able to pick up number 5, but he does get control, and this is where FaZe ties things up and could pull away, Matt.
And what I love there is Zuma, not giving that player a chance inside of that doorway to wait for reinforcements to come, just goes in, takes him out, but it's going to be Renegades with a big 2-piece from Chino. They really get control of the hill yet again.
Those spots were just so close for Renegades. They just constantly flooded. Zuma kills 4, but they just keep coming in one at a time, eventually overpower their opponents, and Renegades pulling out to at least a 20-point advantage. It should be 30 as it will switch over to the new hill. FaZe is going to be set up first, but that wasn't a problem for RNG last time. It was Sender and Diabolic going in on this hard point. Will they be able to do it once again?
And it's all about that first intro kill, right? I mean, if Diabolic's able to pick up Attach there, then you see the rest of Renegades are able to flood in and trade these kills out in their favor. But you see, once FaZe picks up that first kill, look how staggered the side of Renegades is. They have one more player inside here. It's going to be Diabolic. He needs to just stay alive as long as possible, wait for reinforcements to come up.
And there's the pinch up top. Diabolic waiting for Chino to get into position. Chino is there now, and Chino only able to get one. FaZe holding it down. Let's take our screen to enable.
Yeah, but Diabolic just holding out for that long just puts Renegades on even footing with FaZe Clan inside of the hill. It's a huge play there from Diabolic. It's going to be Enable, though, able to jump in with Attach. He's able to pick up 2 kills. It's going to be Enable earning his payload. Let's see if he elects to use it on this next hardpoint. The game getting very close here. So it's going to be FaZe taking the lead.
And Zuma sneaking up from behind. The new hardpoint locked down by RNG early on. Renegades with control. They will tie up the score, and now with the lead. Matt, who's your player to watch right here? Because FaZe unable to break through on the first attempt.
I mean, it's really just both teams trading kills back and forth. Chino has showed up with a really big game for Renegades right now, 28-23. Does not have a lot of hill time, but that's going to be Chino's kind of role on this team. Not going to be able to play inside the objective. He's going to be the one picking up the kills from range. But right now, this game very close. Too close to call, quite honest. It's going to be Renegades up 10 and counting, but you do not feel great about their lead. FaZe can come back at any time.
Sender causing problems, staying alive, and you know, I keep saying that one team set up. As soon as I say those words, it seems like the other team breaks right through. FaZe trailing by 5, but causing so many problems here at the drill. There's only 7 seconds left. Big rotation is going to go down, and Sender in the same position we saw Diabolic a little bit earlier. He wants to hold the top half of the map.
So the issue I have here is that Renegades keeps giving up the garbage time to FaZe. Usually you say, oh, you have to rotate early, whatnot. But with a game this close, it's like you just basically like you get a lot of time, Renegades, and then you basically give FaZe enough time for them to be in striking distance always. And all it's going to take is for FaZe to get hot for one little period of time where they blow the game open. And this might be it.
16 straight seconds scored. Finally, it's Renegades breaking in. FaZe going for the top, and it's going to be Attach and Clayster pushing in. Attach is laying down, waiting for his teammates to distract, pokes out at the perfect time, the drop shot, and that is going to be a cleared hill, 208 to 189, but Renegades are spawning behind him now.
And I love what just happened there. So Clayster actually spawns out, and he communicates immediately to the rest of his team that he spawns out, and there you see Attach just turn, and he's able to pick up one. Just smart communication. You can see it happening on the minimap there. FaZe just well coordinated.
Renegades takes it over, but there's only 1 second left, so worthless time. They're set up, though, in the money hill. They haven't been able to hold it. Zuma caused problems last time. Let's see how Ivy locks it down. He is pre-aiming the doorway, but knows there's a flank eventually coming in, and it looks like FaZe, just like that, will sweep through 4 kills. They've got control. Payloads are available, though. Here comes the reactive armor from Diabolic, but he only picks up 1. Sender fighting for his lives, and there is the help from Chino. The retake from Renegades. 28 points, though, is FaZe from locking up this series in Game 4.
Yeah, and Renegades needs to push this out a little bit, because when they let FaZe get close to the hill, they get wiped out, and you see it happen there. All 4 down for Renegades. It's going to be FaZe only 20 points away from taking this game. Cannot win it on this hard point, but it's going to be Renegades breaking right back. So a hill we said was very difficult to break in. We're seeing teams just back and forth, able to break in with big 2 pieces from some of their players. And now you see FaZe is going to take the rest of this time here, but the rotation going to come in. It's a big gunfight here.
And we do have a Trinity Rocket available here for Attach, so score streak could come down if he knows the spawns are far enough away. For now, though, he's got to defend himself. 2 points away. Can FaZe clean it up here? Zuma in a big battle's going to win it, and it is FaZe 3-1 over their opponents, Renegades. But Renegades showing you what they're made of, Matt. This is a squad that's not going to go down easy in any of the
holds on strong there in the hard points. You know, they get off to these slow starts. Not in this one. In this game, what really happened is they just let FaZe hang around for way too long. have a pretty good chance to take that. Did not really like what we saw from Evil Geniuses earlier.
Well, EG going to have their hands full with Renegades. That's a losers match coming up a little bit later. For now, though, we're going to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. The exhibition